Good afternoon, everyone. I am Anna with HTAG, and today I have Mary with Strive2Free with us. Congratulations on being nominated as one of the top 25 abolitionists in America. We are excited to hear what Strive2Free is doing and learning more about your organization. So let's begin. Tell us a little more about Strive2Free, where you guys are located, what you guys do, that kind of thing.
Okay, so my name is Mary Molinaro. I'm president of Strive2Free, and thank you for the opportunity and the interview. We're really honored that you're interested in hearing more about us. We're relatively new. We formed as a 501c3 nonprofit corporation about 2 years ago. We're a small group. We have 6 board members, 5 of which are attorneys and 1 who's a CPA. And basically how we got started in this is that a couple of years ago, myself and another attorney were asked to join a committee of lawyers who were doing pro bono work for women who had been victims of human trafficking to help them get T visas. So I said, sure, I would help, do whatever I could to help. I didn't really know what human trafficking was, but it sounded like something that I should help with. So as we started to become more educated about what human trafficking was, the other attorney and myself, we said to ourselves, well, this isn't enough. We have to do something more. And as we started to learn more about how bad it really was in our area in Sacramento, we were just appalled. And we thought, well, if we as lawyers do not know how bad this problem is in our own backyards, I bet you there's a lot of other lawyers who don't know too. So we started by forming our own corporation and soliciting other board members, other lawyers that were colleagues and that were also interested in the problem, developed our nonprofit, and then we kind of we were then, okay, well, what do we do? How can we be of service? What can we do that will make the most impact? And so originally we were just going to start and throw a big gala once a year, raise funds to provide to other nonprofits that were working on these issues and educate our own colleagues. So we went out and we spoke to different sections of the bar. So we spoke to women lawyers and we spoke to our own family law attorney section and other sections about human trafficking. And we were asked by service groups to come and speak, such as like the Seroptimists and things like that. And we threw our big gala and all of our colleagues came. It was really successful. We raised a lot of money and we then donated a big portion of it to Bridget's Dream for their safe house that they were working on for victims. And we also donated to my sister's house for, continuing education that they were doing on the human trafficking issue. And then we came back as a board and said, well, that's not enough. We need to do more. What do we do? So we really got together and started strategizing long-term and short-term about how we could make the most impact. Because we're not a service provider. We're just a small little independent group of professionals that have full-time jobs and families and all of that, but really wanted to do more. So we started focusing on, well, where is there a need that we don't see really being met in this cause? And what we saw was there was not a lot being done on the supply and demand part of the problem. So the supply being, the up-and-coming victims, and the demand being those who are soliciting these kinds of services, whether it be for labor or for sex trafficking. So we started with the supply, and what we have been working on and developing is a curriculum for our youth, which we're bringing into the schools, ultimately culminating in a big youth summit for all the high schools in the greater Sacramento area. And that's what we're working on right now, and we're already involved in getting into one big high school where there's a lot of at-risk youth. And our first presentation full-day presentation is going to be this coming fall. We're really excited about it because we're going to have a victim speaking. We're going to have a rapper who does rap on human trafficking come and speak, and it's all going to be directed towards a school of high school kids where there's a lot of at-risk population. So we're hoping that with that entree that we're going to be able to build on that and get into all the schools and may ultimately develop into a curriculum that could go statewide, nationwide, and or a big youth summit where we can have lots of schools come and have a full day of education. So that's what we're working on now.
Awesome. I'm interested to hear you speak a little more about what the curriculum looks like and what exactly will be in that.
So we're in development on that now. With Bridget's Dream is assisting us. We're going to have sort of entertainment that's focused on the issue that'll more grab the kids. We want to have toolkits for the kids when they leave that day to where they have like a little kind of a toolbox about human trafficking that they can either start their own groups or, or go out and, get their friends excited about it. So that's still in development, but those are kind of the general. We did do a pilot program already with a group of high school kids from different schools, and we did some presentation with them and then got their input on what would excite them, what would interest them more. So we got a lot of good information from that, and we're in the process of incorporating that and developing the model for the day. It's still in the works.
Awesome, and it sounds like it's beginning more as a one-day event. Do you guys plan to make that into a more long-term curriculum, meaning having it longer than a one-day event, or even having some sort of curriculum or lessons taught in schools?
Yeah, basically, we're starting with the one-day event because that seems to be the thing that works best for the first school that we're starting with. What we're realizing is that different schools have different needs. Some schools are a lot bigger than others. So ultimately, we want to be able to work our program into whatever the school's needs are. So it might be a 2-hour program, it might be a 4-hour program, it might be a full day. It ultimately might move to a youth summit where lots of schools come and it's huge and there's 1,000 kids. Or it could develop into a curriculum that becomes a core part of, let's say, the health classes in high school. So they might be learning about STDs and domestic violence, and human trafficking is part of what they need to learn about as well. So we're not closing our minds off to any possibilities. We're starting off with this in the first school, and then we'll see how that goes, how it's received, how the kids feel about it, what were the pros and cons of it, and we'll go from there as far as modifying it if we need to.
Awesome. And how has the response been so far?
Really, really well. The school that we're going to be going to is extremely excited to have us. They've seen this problem on their campuses. They know the at-risk youth that are on their campus, and they're really excited to have us. So we're excited to do it.
That's good to hear and encouraging. Your organization has obviously accomplished a lot so far, and I'm curious to hear what would you say is the single most success or accomplishment that your organization has done so far, aside from all the amazing things that you guys have done?
I think our biggest accomplishment is this youth summit, whatever you want to call it, program that we're putting on, and the direction that it's taking. We certainly didn't anticipate that we were going to be taking on this much, but we're all doers, and we're really committed to this cause, and so it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So I would say that we're really proud of what we're trying to do with the youth. We really want to go a lot younger. We're starting with high school because we got a lot of resistance when we tried to go into the junior highs, and I think it's just really a lack of knowledge from teachers and administrators who don't really understand that that's really where we need to get as younger kids. So once we get this entree into the high schools, our plan is to go younger, much younger.
Awesome. That's exciting to hear that you guys are targeting the younger generation so as to prevent and start preventing this issue. So that's awesome to hear. What have you found to be the most challenging in Strive2Free's combat against human trafficking?
Just the time involved in doing this work, from the standpoint of we are all working professionals with families and other responsibilities. If we could have a magic wand and say, okay, we have all the money we need in the world and we don't all need to work and we could just focus on this cause and just work, I think we all would do that. But unfortunately we can't. And Strive2Free is our second job. And so that's the biggest challenge, is trying to fit it all in.
Is there anything that we at HTAG can do to assist you in your fight against human trafficking, or that viewers in the Sacramento area can do to combat human trafficking?
Absolutely. If we could get more exposure just in terms of media for our entree into the high schools, more marketing support to spread the word of what we're trying to do in terms of educating our youth to create less of a future supply of victims, that would be awesome.
Are you guys in need of volunteers or people to assist you with the current work that you're doing? Especially with the big...
Sorry
about that, especially with the big high school events that you guys are looking at putting on.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to need volunteers when we get to that point. And so anybody who is interested in volunteer can go onto our website and contact us via there or through our Facebook page.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time and sharing with us what your organization does. For all of you who are interested in learning more about what Strive2Free does or in volunteering with them, please visit www.strive2free.org, or you can visit htag.org to learn more about what they are doing. Thank you all for tuning in. I am Anna, and I'm an abolitionist.